What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I debated on making a video and I figured, you know what, why slack? So we are starting our day here really late in the evening. It is 5 o'clock. I got 1 hour before the sunset. My dad sold his truck today, so that is gone. If you guys have seen the last video, we buttoned up a lot more things here with the wagon. We got the wastegate installed, we got the manifold turbo permanently installed, we got the downpipe reinstalled, compressor housing is wrinkle black. We have charge pipe number 1, charge pipe number 2, and charge pipe number 3 painted black, and we did get the blow-off valve mounted as well too. I'm not going to touch anything engine related today, guys. We're just going to go ahead and dive right into it, and hopefully we can get this raised support painted today, tonight, or at least in this video. Before I wash all the dirt and stuff off the radius support, I think I'm going to go over some welds on the radius support because if you look down here, not sure what was going on when the person was welding this. Pretty straightforward, but somehow they messed it all up. So I'm going to go over this with some wire wheel and weld some areas that are flimsy, and then probably put some primer over it, and then I'm gonna wash all this dirt and grime off before we hit it with the Scotch-Brite. So wire wheel, man, this guy right here has seen some better days. God dang. We got some self-tappers right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, everywhere. My goodness. I can use a variety of wire wheel to knock out a lot of the rust that was just kind of forming all over the place, because a lot of this was straight up bare metal. So now I'm about to get ready to weld this all up. I'm gonna use a vice grip to kind of close this gap, weld it shut, fix some of the areas that should have had a weld on it, because the radius support is pretty flimsy. Got all that cleaned up as well. I'm probably gonna lay some on there and prime it and use some self etches on areas that are pure bare metal. Prime it, and then we'll wash it. Self-etching primer. It says it right here on the top. It says Duplicolor self-etching primer etches and primes bare metal in one step, making it ideal to use as a first step in all automotive priming projects and use on spot repairs. So this guy sprays out like green. I think there's a black one as well, but I'm gonna spray this first on all of the bare metal, and then I'll prime it. I'm not worried about scuffing up the bottom because the bottom is going to stay black. The top half is going to be color matched. So I am going to etch all of the metal. The bottom side, I'll just paint black over it, and then the top we'll do the gray primer and wash it. I said that 3 times now. Let's do this. I'm just going to dunk it on there. This thing is not pretty anyways. Me doing this obviously shows that I am caring about it a little bit, and because it was somebody else's work before, I can't make it as neat as I would want it to be. Now it's either I do it or I sell it to the person all jank the way it was. So me putting the effort to do this, shows you that I do care about it, you know. And granted, this thing has been swapped out before. I wish I would have done it because I was around at the time this car was smacked 6-7 years ago. I went to go help pull this core support for my buddy, and he had somebody else install this. That was the last time I saw the car up until not being in my possession. So like I said, I'm just going to dunk primer all over the bare metal. Let it soak up all of the little crevices where the welds are blotchy. Lucy! Lucy! What are you doing? Now, I am aware that there are a ton of different primers out there. Self-etching primer, 1K primer, 2K primer, epoxy primer, urethane, you know, all that primer. Went to the parts store, I explained what I needed. The guy said this right here will work, Transtar 4603. This is a 1K primer. It can go on after body work, it can go on before paint. It'll stick perfectly. It works good on plastic, and it's great out of the can. So I'm just gonna scuff like the white and get these brown to be smooth as possible, and I'm gonna go probably 1 layer of primer all over the areas that I'm trying to paint match, and then we'll go with the base coat, clear coats. What I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna sand this down super clean, and I'm gonna prime it, I'm gonna paint match it, and then I'm gonna use Rust-Oleum clear because I didn't buy clear, and I'm just gonna try to Rust-Oleum clear over the paint match can to see if it'll react or whatever. And I'm not gonna put a lot of clear on the support because the engine bay doesn't get much clear from the factory, so it's not super shiny, and I kind of want to have it in the same like shininess, you know what I mean, like semi-gloss. So I'm probably gonna miss like 1 light and then 2 light layers of clear and try to get it to somewhat look like the rest of the engine bay. Now granted, old paint, new paint, it's gonna be different to the eye like right off the bat. So I'm gonna go ahead and chase this with some 1K primer. Now the reason why I'm putting on the primer before cleaning it is I don't want any bare metal exposed when I wash it, because water, metal, it creates rust. So I'm just pretty much dousing all of the exposed areas with primer, let it dry, and go from there. So I just went over all the dirt with my good old toothbrush and some purple power right there. I just got all of the little crevices with my toothbrush, hopefully nice and clean. Did a little bit of the frame rail since we are kind of, you know, in that back area right here to paint the backside bucket of the headlights. God damn. So I just went over the frame with a full scuff and a half. I went back and kind of chased some of the areas that are still shiny, and just kind of going over this with wax and grease remover. You can just get that from your auto parts store. I'm wiping down everything right now. I just blew everything off with the compressor, the air, get all the dust off, and just wiping everything down before I prime this. You know what? I just realized I forgot the T-bracket. Got the core support all primered, and again I forgot the T-bracket, but I'm not worried about that. I can do that really quickly. Right now I am letting this guy dry for about, it's kind of hard to say because it is cold out, but I am going to use my heat gun to kind of give it some heat in the general areas to dry up, and hopefully we can lay down the base coat and the clear coat. But I did a charge pipe right here in the dark. I'm gonna bring this guy over to the light real quick. I mean, old paint, new paint, but it is a lot closer shade than the dark brown that's on the hood. So not bad, not bad. I did some really heavy coat. You can see the run right there. I'm trying to get that on camera. See that run right there? So I'm not trying to make it super shiny on the core support. I want it to be like semi-gloss, like the tower, so it's not like, you know, oh, the core support has been swapped out or whatever the case is, although it is, but pretty close, pretty close. So I sat on my little chair right here for like 15-20 minutes. I scrubbed the T-bar down. It was pretty grimy. And then I removed the sticker that was right there because it was for the AC. We're not running AC, obviously. And I scuffed this up with the red scotch and then taped up the little Honda Company sticker that's right there. Primed it. Now I'm going to let it dry. I'm going to hang it right here. I did run the heat gun on it, dry up the 1K primer a little quicker, but I think we're ready to paint match the radius support. Yo, I'm tripping the hell out right now. This guy just came out of nowhere. It's a crawdad, crayfish, crawdaddy. Hey, where the hell did you come from? Look, you can see all of the webs and stuff, like he crawled out underneath my car. I'm so confused. Ooh. We are looking good with this Raider support. Ooh wee! Guys, look at this. Nice and dry. Overnight. T-bracket. Painted. Already stripped. I cleaned everything up last night. Took all the tape off before the paint fully cured. That is looking freaking awesome. With the fender kind of over the sides here, you don't really notice the difference. If you look at it right here to the battery tray, you don't really notice it. So that's good. It is a smidge darker, and obviously is more shinier than the rest of the engine bay, but you can't even tell, right? Man, that looks awesome. I'm just gonna use quick color, fast drying, all-purpose flat black. You can get this from Home Depot for like $1, literally $1, and it'll dry super quick. Alright guys, so we just buttoned up everything that we could possibly throw back on the car. Check that out. It looks freaking awesome with the intercooler painted black. I debated on it, but then I read some comments and I was like, I'm glad I painted it black. It makes it so much more stealth, and all the charge pipe for the passenger side is ran. It's all loosely in place because some of this stuff is going to come back out, and you can see it really blends in right there. Just got to zip tie this guy, zip tie that guy, and figure out this tube right here. But it is all T-bolt clamped into place right there. I didn't put this pipe to the turbo just yet because, like I said, some things are still going to come back out, but it is looking freaking awesome, guys. We are really close to getting this thing done. A few more little things that we have to do is the dump tube right there, the feed line to the back of the block, because the oil pressure unit is freaking under the intake manifold above the oil filter, so my hands can't really get back there unless I go from underneath the car, take the oil filter off and all that. But A few more things to button up. We need the return line down there, the flange. I gotta go pick that up later today or tomorrow. A couple of vacuum lines, and I read some comments as well about where the blow-off valve is at. I placed it right there, I think in the last video. It is right there at the bottom under the battery, out of the way, and it's still gonna make some noise. Granted, I have the MLS head gasket. I ordered ARP head studs yesterday, so again, the stuff that are going to be coming back out is the manifold, the turbo, and all that. Intake manifold, the whole head is going to come back out, and we're going to do the head stud and the MLS head gasket. That's for another video once I get the studs coming in. But I think other than that, oil, and this thing should be ready to fire over. Obviously, I'm going to check the car, make sure everything's good and dandy with the OBD0 setup, and then once that is situated, we'll convert it to OBD1. I do have an OBD1 distributor already. I have the jumper harness. We made an ECU jumper harness, and the DSM 450s are probably going to be the last thing to go into the car because we don't have a map to program those injectors. So I am going to wrap the video up right here, guys. If you enjoyed the progress on the Wagon, if you guys like how the sleeper charge pipe system came out, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for we're not that far from turning this car on, but if you guys want to stick around and see this car turn on for the first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.